What are you doing back there hiding, buddy? What are you doing back there hiding? You in your safe space? Welcome back to Trailer Trash Flips. My name is Mac, and I buy things to sell on eBay and Mercari and try to make a profit. It is bright and early Friday morning, very early. I would really much rather be going to garage sales this morning, but I do have work to do for my day job today. And I said before, I typically try to schedule that work in the morning so that by early afternoon I'm done. Unfortunately, today I have a customer that called yesterday. Well, at that point they were a potential customer, and they were flying in to buy a house, and they had about a 3-hour window to get the work done after they bought the house before they flew out. So I've got to get my eBay orders packed and dropped off at the post office early today so I can get out to their location, which is about an hour away, and do the work before they have to leave. This is one of the downfalls, at least in my situation, of being self-employed outside of eBay. I do have the opportunity to turn down the work because I would much rather be doing eBay things. I would actually rather be listing than going out doing this other work. But if I turn down that work, I'm turning down a sure thing, whereas eBay is a little more iffy on when or if something's going to sell. So I'm not really in the position to do that. So that's something that I don't really do. So I am very often kind of at the mercy of working around my customer schedules. And that does interfere with eBay or other things that I want to do. But on the flip side, at least I don't have to get up at 5:30 or 6 a.m. and fight traffic to a job that I really may or may not like to do and deal with all that. Because I did that for many years. So after everything is said and done, I would still take the minor inconvenience of self-employment over the structure of a regular job. I had a few people ask what I do for a living outside of eBay, so I thought I'd show you real quick. I have a carpet and tile and grout cleaning business. Now, if you're asking yourself, why do I want to get out of it? Well, the truth is I'm getting older. It's much harder on the body. And I really just enjoy eBay a lot more than I do cleaning carpet and tile and grout. So with that said, I've got 10 orders going out today for a total of $181.72. And as I sometimes mention, that's the total sales amount without shipping. Shipping is not included in that. So I'll end up making a few dollars on top of that for the shipping. First item is here on the LS shelf. It's a Cuisinart GR6S smokeless contact griddle, and it's sold for $43.96 plus shipping. In H4, I've got a tactical mount set for Splatterball, and it's sold for $15.45 with free shipping. In H3, I've got 2 bottles of supplements, and these sold for $12.04 plus shipping. On the LP shelf, I've got a vintage Everready flashlight, and this sold for $16.68 plus shipping. In H13, I sold a toilet replacement part, and this sold for $7.24 plus shipping. In O2, I've got some resistance bands, and these sold for $12.09 plus shipping. In F8, I've got a gravy boat, and I think I see it right here in the front, and this sold for $11.08 plus shipping. Back to the LP shelf, and I sold a wireless color weather station, and it sold for $35.16 plus shipping. Hey buddy. Hey buddy. Alright, me and the moose are back into my eBay room. And in F, sold a shoe polishing kit. This sold for $13.10 plus shipping. And the last item is in the H bin, and it is a Rival Deluxe Ice Shaver. And it sold for $14.92 plus shipping. So here's everything going out today in my ever shrinking work area. Not these items, obviously. These are items that I'm working on listing. And I was here in my eBay room till about 10 o'clock listing last night. You know, I've got a ton of cookbooks that I'm trying to get listed. I've got some listed, but I've got this stack and probably another 2 stacks about this. Oh, about another 2 stacks about this tall of cookbooks I need to get listed. And you know, listing cookbooks are okay, but I get really tired of listing the same thing over and over. So I will list a stack maybe not quite this high of cookbooks, and then move on to something else, then come back to them. So the Rival Ice Shaver, this is something that I already had when the kids were here. We used to make, you know, snow cones, snowballs, whatever you want to call them with this. Works pretty good too. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just I have no one here but me, and I'm not going to make any of them for myself. So I went ahead and listed that. Next is this Presto Shine On Shoe Polisher Kit. I think I maybe paid $2.50 for this in an estate sale. I don't remember, but it wasn't very much. These are resistance bands, extra large, that I got from the Amazon bin store. And these were, I think these were either 50 cents or $1. The weather station, it's a LaCrosse weather station. I picked this up at what was labeled an estate sale, but it's really more like a garage sale. And I want to say they had this maybe for like $2 or $3. It was really, really cheap. So this was definitely a good flip. Got the 2 bottles of Mayo Inositol. These are very close dated. I think they expire next month, so I'm kind of blowing these out. These may be the last 2 bottles I've got, but these came from the Amazon bin store for either 50 cents or $1 each. The Cuisinart or Cuisinart Contact Griddle came from Goodwill. And I don't remember how much I paid for it because I've had it for a little while. I want to say it was $6. And it's one of those things that I almost kept for myself. It's got a nice digital readout on it. The plates aren't scratched up or anything like that. So I did kind of want to keep it. But, you know, it's just another thing that I don't have room for. The Gravy Boat is something that I already had. It's something that my ex-wife bought, so it's always fun selling things that, you know, that she really kind of liked. And here's a picture of what it looks like. It says, "Oh, good gravy." But really, selling items that she liked is more important than however much I get for it. This is a hot cold stem. I thought it was for a toilet. I guess it's for a sink or something. But anyway, this came from the Amazon bin store, and it was $1. The vintage Eveready Commander magnetic flashlight came from an estate sale, and it was in a $5 filler bag. So I don't have much into that. And finally, these tactical mount sets that they're not Splatterball brand, but they're made for Splatterball. It's got the flip up sights, rails, and all this stuff to put attachments on. These came from the Amazon bin store, and these were 50 cents each. It's Friday afternoon, and I am back from work. I did not get all the orders out like I was planning earlier. The time got away from me just a little bit, but a few other things came up. First was I had to make an additional stop when I went out earlier that I was not planning on making, so that kind of sucked up some extra time. But second, it's because when I leave to go to work, I don't just get in my truck and leave. First, I pull an enclosed trailer. So I have to hook the trailer up. Inside that trailer is lots of equipment, but one of the things is a generator, and I need to get gas in that generator, and I need gas in my truck. So with all that said, oh, and I have to do paperwork. I got to fill out paperwork before I go to these jobs too. I did end up getting to the job about half an hour early, and I do try to leave a little earlier because traffic traffic is almost always a problem. And you never know how long extra that's going to take. It may tie you up for an extra 10 minutes or an extra 45 minutes. So I got there early, which was okay because the customer literally showed up about 3 minutes after I got there. So I was able to get started and get back a little bit earlier. But I had I think just one more order. Let me check. I actually ended up with 2 more orders while I was gone this morning. Okay, the first item is here on the LP shelf. And it is a country cutter. It sold for $31.32 plus shipping. And in F7, I've got a pair of pants. Let's see if this is nope, that's a skirt. And these sold for $16.68 plus shipping. These are Chadwick's pants, which I got from an estate sale. It was a $5 fill-a bag, and I ended up with 3 or 4 pieces of brand new in the package Chadwick's clothing. So I don't really have very much into these. And next is this country cutter. You stick your onion or your potato in here, and you know, you just turn the handle, and it cuts it into, what do they call those, like tornadoes or something like that, spiral sliced potatoes. But it also works really good with onions too. The one I have, I got from a craft show that they have here every year. This one came from a thrift store. They had it sitting in there for $5. Well, actually, they didn't have any price on it. And I asked them how much it was. It was in a case up front. They said, how about $5? And I said, you got yourself a deal. I'm having to resort to newspaper for packing because earlier when I was packing orders, I ran out of my packing paper. So I get that from Grainger, and I didn't realize it was that low. I mean, I know I see it every day, but I just wasn't paying close enough attention. So I've got to order some more of that from Grainger, and I also need some more 4x4x6 boxes. But until then, it's going to be just, you know, advertising newspapers. I do only use this usually if I'm out of packing paper, like right now, but I like having some just for whenever I'm a bit sloppy and don't reorder the packing materials like I should. Today is Monday afternoon. I just got in from work a few minutes ago, and I've got 8 orders going out from the weekend for a total of $138.36. I didn't do any sourcing this weekend other than going to one estate sale. Sunday, I had some of my regular work to do, and I was right by an estate sale. And as it turns out, it was my absolute favorite estate sale company. So it worked out good, but I really didn't get that much. It was less than an hour before they closed, and it was fairly well picked over, at least of anything that I normally buy. So I didn't get much, but I also didn't spend much either. I have gotten 3 negative feedbacks in the last month. I don't usually get 3 in a year, but I mean, they're just coming in droves, it seems like lately. I've gotten 2 in the last week, and one of them, it's been about a month since I've gotten it. I don't think that I've really done anything wrong to deserve these negatives, but as an eBay seller, you know, you don't have to deserve a negative to have a buyer leave one. And people are very quick, not everybody, but some people are very quick to leave negative feedback, even when it's unwarranted. Or at least I believe it's unwarranted. The first item that I got negative feedback on were some of these dog supplements. I had 2 of these for sale. I went ahead and pulled this one out of my inventory just out of an abundance of caution. Now, the buyer said that they were fake, and they sent a picture showing that the ones that they had, I think the tablet was a little bit bigger than the ones they bought from me. Now, I don't really believe that I'm selling fake dog supplements for 1 second, but like I said, just to be 100% sure, I did pull these out of my inventory. I do have a theory about maybe what happened, and right here on the label, it says new. So I'm guessing that maybe this company changed, I don't know about changing the formula, but maybe changed the supplements into smaller tablets, and they were used to seeing the bigger tablets, and they thought that maybe these weren't the same thing. Not a whole lot I can do about that. I got the return back. I already threw those away. But I did get a negative. So, unfortunately, that buyer's not out anything because they did an item not as described. I had to pay for the shipping. I'm out the money, but, you know, it is what it is. Not much I can do about it. The second negative I got was for a toddler bed guardrail. I listed this item as a sage green because that's the color that was listed on the box. This was a new open box item, and I took several pictures of it. The buyer said that it was a gray and not a sage green, and that's why they left the negative feedback, which is why I took pictures of it. There was at least 4 pictures in the listing, and I wanted to show that maybe it is more gray than sage green. Some manufacturers have items that are not really what we would consider the color that they call them. And I didn't know if that was the case here. And that's why I took the pictures, so that the buyer would be able to look at the pictures and know if it's actually the color they're looking for or not. Well, unfortunately, it was not the color that this buyer was looking for. And instead of contacting me, and maybe we could do a partial refund, or maybe I could just refund the whole thing, they decided to leave me negative feedback. The third item was on a skin tag removal kit, just like this one. These are new and sealed, and a buyer bought it. Apparently it did not work for them, so they decided to leave me negative feedback. And I'm actually down to 99%. I just had a negative that fell off after a year, and I was up to 99.5, and then these 3 negatives have brought me down to 99%. I guess the thing that really bothers me about most of the negative feedbacks are, it doesn't matter that you sell something at a really good price, or that you pack it well, or that you send it out really quickly, but then they're very quick to leave negative feedback about one aspect of the whole transaction. I'll show you what I picked up from the estate sale this weekend. It's really nothing special. Oh, and I'll show you one other thing that I picked up that's not for resale, but I saw it in a video the other day. When I was watching Shed Flips, I saw that they had bought a pool noodle to put down in the crack behind their packing table. And I got to tell you, I've had stuff fall back here quite a few times. As a matter of fact, there are still items back here that I've never even tried to retrieve. Every now and then, like a book or something will fall down here, and I have to try to get it out. But there's a lot of stuff sitting on this. Well, it's really just a dresser, but I'm going to call it a table for all practical purposes. So there's a lot of stuff sitting up here on this table, and this thing's heavy, so it's not easy to move. It's not on wheels or anything like that. So I did pick up the pool noodle, and I'm going to get it cut at some point today or tomorrow and put it back here. I did not buy this CD storage case yesterday. That's something that I was actually in the process of listing, but I need some of the little rubber feet on the bottom, which I bought some from Amazon, but I can't find them. So I do need to put those on before I get it listed. From the estate sale, I bought this set of books, the Junior Great Books Discussion Program. I saw a comp for something similar to this. This is series 4. I don't know. I just picked them up because I wasn't finding much. So I got those. Found a couple of vintage puzzles. This one is, I don't see a year, Holgate puzzle Donald Duck. It's definitely pretty old. Did not find a comp on this at all. And this is a vintage Play School puzzle. It does have, oh man, am I missing some feet? I wonder if that fell out in my truck. I don't think it was missing that whenever I bought it. But anyway, I'm gonna have to check my truck and see. But this one, it's got some tape on it. And I don't know, I didn't really see too high a comps on this, but I'll tell you why I bought all this in a minute. Now, I bought this book just because I had this book when I was a kid, and I'm going to give it to my grandson whenever he's old enough. So that's why I got that. And the rest of the items that I bought were just cookbooks, and I did not comp a single one of them. That, I've got the 50th Cotton Bowl Classic Cookbook. I've got C'est Bon, the Young Women's Christian Organization, Baton Rouge, 1972. This book is in excellent shape too, and it's really, really good. So I got that one. And let's see, Arkansas Children's Hospital Plum Pretty Cookbook. Probably not going to be a very good cookbook, but I can lot that one up. The Sampler, First Baptist Church, Baton Rouge. Let's see, 1981. So again, in really good shape for how old it is. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Joyeux Noel Acadian Recipes for Christmas Dinners and Desserts. I've never seen this cookbook.
So I picked it up. Let's see, Play It Again. Some old and some new. Broadmoor Methodist Women, 1988. And that's it. These other cookbooks are just ones that I'm working on listing. But the reason I bought all this is because it was all only $10. I mean, I'm sure probably one of these cookbooks is going to sell for more than that. But it was the end of the day, and I love this woman at this estate sale company because she will just work with you. I went up there and she said, what's your offer? I said $9.53. She's like, I'll take it. And I'm like, okay, I'll just give you 10 because I don't have to deal with the change. But yeah, all that for $10. In H13, I've got two items. One is a t-shirt. It's a Thrasher magazine t-shirt, and this sold for $14.92 plus shipping. Next is a set of 3 garage door openers. Is that 3 in there? Yeah. And these sold for $11.08 plus shipping. In M5, I've got a Star Wars Mandalorian mug. And this sold for $8.04 plus shipping. In M7, I've got a 2-pack of Humans decals for a truck. And these sold for $16.68 plus shipping. On the LP2 shelf, I've got 14 VHS tapes, and those sold for $39.92 plus shipping. I sold this perfume lamp, and it sold for $15 plus shipping. In the F bin, I sold an LSU coffee mug, and this sold for $7.24 plus shipping. And the last item is here on the black shelf. It is some kind of Dutch game that I can't pronounce, and it sold for $25.48. Things are a bit cramped up here with all these items, so I'm going to go through these real quick. The Humans emblems came from the bin store for, I think, $1. The garage door openers came from the Amazon bin store for 50 cents each, so I've got $1.50 into those. I don't remember where the LSU mug came from. Probably a garage sale or an estate sale. Probably a garage sale though, because I've had it for a long time. Don't really remember how much I have into that. The Thrasher magazine shirt came from the bin store. It was either $1 or $2. This game, I think, was either $2 or $2.50, and it came from an estate sale. The perfume lamp came from a thrift store. I want to say I paid $3 for it. All of these VHS tapes, they're all brand new sealed. They came from an estate sale, the same estate sale that I got the Dutch game at, and I paid 50 cents a piece for all these. So I've got 1, 2, 3, got $7 into all 14 of these tapes. And finally, the Mandalorian Star Wars mug came from Five Below. They had them marked down for like $1 or something, so I bought several of these, and I think this is the last one I got, so I don't have much into that. My GoPro battery is down to 4%, so I'm cutting things kind of close here. But that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.